decided to walk to a cafe nearby to grab something sweet and nice and chillax for a bit before the laundry machine goes off. If I were to be honest, I think the cashier here or the barista here really doesn't like me. This is the third time I came to this coffee shop, and I think, you know, like, I don't really read social cues, but I think it's the way he carefully words things and repeats things back to me and corrects me that makes me feel like, okay, I think I should be quiet here and just get whatever. And I'm like getting a matcha latte. The more deeply I am able to understand her. I know too why she asked me not to forget her. Napa herself knew, of course. She knew that my memories of her would fade, which is precisely why she begged me never to forget her, to remember that she had existed. The thought fills me with an almost unbearable sorrow, because Napa never loved me. Once upon a time. The timer's up. We gotta go. So I was reading this book, Norwegian Wood. Every time when I read fictions, especially ones that's kind of like an emotionally heavy book like this one, or like The Old Man and the Sea, I feel intense emotions. I feel emotions so intensely as I'm reading these words. I almost feel as if these things are happening to me, that I just get super emotional. This is actually why, like, reading is very challenging for me. And now I was just reading about this man in his 40s recalling his first relationship, a woman who asked him to never forget about her. I was filled with emotions in my body as if this had happened to me. I was imagining, is this how Ricky felt? Is this how my ex would feel about me? Do I feel about it's crazy. It's like I am a very emotional person, and that makes reading fictions very challenging for me because I feel it so intensely. And yeah, I just want to get that out of my chest. And now I'm gonna go back to the apartment, and I am wearing a bougie outfit today because I'm doing chores and I really needed this to cheer me up a bit.
Hey yo, I haven't seen you in a while. I don't like to cuddle. I'm grateful that you leave me alone. Thanks. Hey Barb, I did not invite you. See, this is what happens with me with dogs.
I just feel really sad. I do not remember how did that happen. I'm thinking, what a life. I have sensory overload at home. This is why I would go to the grocery, get a bunch of snacks I like. I get ice cream too. And I would come to the office and eat it, and I'm planning on doing some work. Ricky, if you're watching this, just know that I love you. But you know what, I think you feel the same way about me too. So if you're watching this and you're neither of us, what's going on? Because neither of us seem to know, and we're not trying to be love on the spectrum here. I'm thinking, what if my coworker saw me doing this? That reminded me of an interaction I had with my coworker who sits right across from me, who is a software engineer, that he told me on our first introduction, and I was feeling so awkward that I ended up telling him about Ricky's chronic illness, Crohn's awareness. And I told him how sad I felt about it, and I think it went a bit too personal there. So on the second interaction that we had in the kitchen, I told him that I'm doing a 30-day challenge and I'm gonna film it, and he asked me, what is the 30-day challenge about? I just blurted this out. I said, I'm not ready to share this yet, but if you're ready to hear, I'm open to tell you about it. And he immediately went like, I don't have to know if you're not ready to share. Like, that was probably a very weird response, but that's how my mind works. I cannot always immediately come up with responses with people in real time. I think my flexibility in terms of my verbal ability loses a few points when I am talking to strangers or acquaintances or people that I don't know very well, especially if they are not autistic. I think my brain, it gets overstimulated. But I promise it's getting better with more practice. So, Ricky's friend, I don't know if I can mention his name. So Ricky's friend, I guess I still need to ask for consent before. So Ricky's friend suggested that I could make interview videos. That's something that now I'm thinking that's a great idea. Whoever is watching this are people who do know me in my life. So what is it that I can tell you? Well, the software engineer guy. I'm very sorry we forgot your name. If you're watching this, just know I am autistic and I struggle with eye contact and social interaction, and I hope I haven't made you feel weirded out. And if I have, I apologize. And if you are my other coworkspace coworker, if you're watching this, I would like to say that I get very offended when you talk out loud when we're in a space that's supposed to be shared and designed to have phone booth so you can go to the phone booth. Every time when you're talking aloud, I get distracted. I cannot help it because my brain is wired differently. So when you are talking aloud in your online Zoom calls, it really affects me and my mental health. I also really would like you to know that I always wanted to say hi and ask about how you're feeling, how you're doing, how's your life. But I really struggle with social interaction, and I hope that you would have been the person who come up and said, hi, how's it going? If you're Ricky and you're watching this, there is nothing for you in this part because I've told you everything in person already, and you really need to pay attention. But I love you. If you're Ricky's friend, I'm going to address. I appreciate your help, your concern, your advice. When it comes to the things between Ricky and I hope you know that you are not either of us. And I appreciate your concern. And you've been a very good friend to Ricky and to me as well. So I appreciate that. Now, all the rest of Ricky's friends that I got to meet, I'm going to group you all in one and refer you as guys. Guys, you need to learn some boundary when it comes to talking or referring to women. And I totally feel that you guys are, I don't know what to say. I am not judgmental of you, but rather it's vice versa. You guys are being way too judgmental of me. Okay, strangers on the street. If you ever see a woman like me walking down the street in a clumsy fashion with a bag of groceries, just know I am trying my best to respond to this world in an appropriate way when everything overwhelms me, like many of you feel as well. But at least when you're outside walking down the street, when there is sun, sound, dust, wave, wind, and anything, you have an ability to cope with these stimuli in ways that I couldn't. So yeah. So who cares about all about this? Who cares all of this? Nobody. Nobody cares. And it's okay. That's why you can freely speak your mind. I do not have friends. I do have friends growing up, but I do not have the same, I was gonna say I do not have the same kind of friendship as most people do. I form very, very, very deep bond with people but I wanted to say I also grow out of the bond in some way. In other ways, I feel like the bond is always there. And I mean it like when I am younger, I would share everything on my mind with just one person. And then this person changes as I grow older. I feel that I become more and more open. I feel that at this point in my life, when I am making a video telling you about what I'm thinking, about my feelings, I am speaking to everybody I had met and come across in my life. So yeah, you too. I do think about people daily a lot. Despite being an autistic, I would say, misconception that we don't think or care or desire relationship or think about people, we do. Or at least I do. This smells very funky, but it's pretty good. I like to stim with crunchy things. This is really good. Better taste comes from better ingredients. Potato, sunflower oil, and worse.
Safflower oil, cheddar cheese, pasteurized milk, cheese culture, salt, enzymes, whey, salt, butter powder, buttermilk, fast dry milk, vitamin E to protect flavor, non-fat dry milk, lactic acid powder, disodium phosphate, natural flavor, citric acid.
Contains milk. Why do I always like cheese products so much? I like dairy products a lot. I like how funky it smells, even though it can smell pretty close to body odors. I know it's kind of like a gross comparison, but that's really what I mean, I just spoke my mind, and I'm sorry that you're grossed out. I don't know if I should stop. I'm serving all of the snacks that I got today. This is pretty good. One recent show that I've been watching is called Autistic Selves, and it's about having DID, that's what they call it, DID, dissociative identity disorder. She noticed how her DID started talking to her, and in the video when she's referring herself, she sometimes refer to herself as we, and that's very surprising for me. So as someone who is autistic, a lot of the times the way I practice verbalization or small talk is by talking out loud, by either filming myself, or if I'm not, I would still practice doing that by myself alone as if I were talking to someone. But was I really talking to someone? No. If that would make me appear like I have DID, I mean, it's fascinating. I recommend you check out this channel. I like the other one better than this one, but this is still pretty good. I'm trying to imagine who would be a loyal fan to this, and I'm imagining what would this person be like if they were to be this were to be their one of their go-to snack. These are the kind of questions I ask myself. I mean, I can't say it's interesting because it might be silly to some of you, but these are the questions that I think about. I wonder this because to me, this is like, I don't really care about this. But to someone else, this could be something that's like, this is the best snack in the world, or this is their favorite go-to snack. And now that I thought about this, I actually have an increased likelihood of wanting to buy this again because I don't really know. And I would try to get this snack and think about, I imagine what is it like when I am someone who would get this as a go-to snack. But
several sad puns later.
do you ever wonder silly things like that? I feel like these two would taste really good together. Oh, by the way, this is corn toasted Chipotle lime flavored from Sprouts. I wonder if Sprouts would sponsor me if I were to be very successful someday. Going back home. Motion graphics is pretty difficult. Gotta continue tomorrow. I didn't do much today. I started watching a bunch of videos. It's sweet, savory, and seasoning is like cumin.
What?
I'm commenting
Cumin's
on.
in the noodles. Have a little bit of spice.
Tastes like Middle Eastern or Chinese Muslim food.
Right? This is kind of going for it.
Very talented.
We ain't got no hose up in here.
Hmm?
So why start red light in my room? So we ain't got no hose up in here. Or do we? Oh no.
Mm-hmm. We do. Here. Wow. I found a piece of stew coat in the food. A piece of stew.
Piece what?
Stew?
Steel?
Like the price. SKU.